The rain pattered down on the empty bus stop, creating small rivers that raced along the curb. Maya pulled her thin jacket tighter around her shoulders, trying to shield herself from the cold drops that occasionally blew sideways under the shelter. Her worn backpack sat beside her, containing everything she now owned: some clothes, a toothbrush, a sketchbook, and a few cherished photographs. 3 days ago, she'd been staring at an eviction notice. Today she had nowhere to go. At 24, Maya had thought she was finally getting her life together after aging out of foster care and bouncing between friends' couches for years. But then the restaurant where she worked closed suddenly, and without a paycheck, her rent went unpaid. The bus wasn't coming for another hour, but she had nowhere else to be. The shelter across town might have a bed, if she got there before they filled up. Maya wiped away a tear that mixed with the raindrops on her face, hoping no one would walk by and notice her sitting there, looking as lost as she felt. The soft scuffing of small shoes against wet pavement made Maya look up. A little girl with curly hair pulled into 2 uneven ponytails was walking toward the bus stop. She wore a bright yellow raincoat that was a size too big, the sleeves hanging past her fingertips. She couldn't have been more than 7 years old. Maya glanced around looking for the child's parent, but the street was empty except for a few distant shoppers hurrying between stores. The little girl climbed onto the bench beside Maya, her feet dangling above the ground, and stared up at her with curious brown eyes. "Are you sad?" the girl asked, tilting her head. Maya quickly wiped her eyes. "No, just a little rain on my face." "You look sad," the girl insisted. "And cold. Where's your umbrella?" "I forgot it," Maya said, giving the girl a small smile despite herself. "My grandma says you should never leave home without an umbrella when the sky looks gray." The girl swung her feet back and forth, her rain boots occasionally knocking against the bench. Maya nodded, wondering where this child's grandmother was. "That's good advice. Speaking of your grandma, is she nearby? You shouldn't be talking to strangers." The girl pointed vaguely toward the shops. "She's buying groceries." "I got bored. I'm Lily." She stuck out a small hand formally as if introducing herself at a business meeting. "I'm Maya," she replied, gently shaking the tiny offered hand. "You should go back to your grandma, Lily. She's probably worried about you." Lily shrugged. She always takes forever looking at coupons and talking to the store people. She studied Maya's face and then her backpack. "Are you going on a trip?" Maya hesitated. "Sort of. Where's your home?" Lily asked with the direct curiosity only children possess. "I'm between homes right now," Maya answered carefully. Lily nodded as if this made perfect sense. "So you don't have a place to sleep?" Maya felt her throat tighten. Being homeless was hard enough without having to explain it to a child. "I'll find somewhere." Lily was quiet for a moment, her face scrunched in thought. Then she looked up at Maya with eyes that somehow seemed older than her years. "You need a home and I need a mommy," she said simply. The words hit Maya like a physical blow. She stared at the little girl, unsure how to respond to such a direct statement. "My mommy died when I was 4. Lily continued matter-of-factly. "It's just me and Grandma now. But Grandma gets tired a lot." "I'm sorry about your mom," Maya said softly, her own problems momentarily forgotten. "Grandma says she's a star now." Lily pointed up at the cloudy sky. "But you can't see stars during the day. Or when it's raining," a voice called out from across the street. Lily Henderson." An older woman with silver-streaked black hair was hurrying toward them, plastic grocery bags hanging from her arms, her face creased with worry. "There you are," the woman exclaimed, reaching the bus stop and setting down her bags. "What have I told you about wandering off? You nearly gave me a heart attack." "I was just talking to my new friend," Lily explained, pointing to Maya. "Her name is Maya and she needs a home." The woman turned to Maya with an apologetic look. "I'm so sorry if she's been bothering you. Lily has never met a stranger she didn't want to chat with." "She wasn't bothering me," Maya assured her, standing up and shouldering her backpack. "But you should keep a closer eye on her. Not everyone has good intentions." The woman nodded, looking tired. "I'm Eleanor, Lily's grandmother. And you're right. Thank you for looking out for her." She studied Maya more carefully, noting her damp clothes and the backpack. "Are you waiting for someone?" Maya shook her head. "Just the bus. In this rain? Where are you headed?" Maya hesitated. "The shelter on Oak Street. If they have room. Understanding dawned in Eleanor's eyes, but there was no pity there, just a thoughtful concern. I see. She glanced down at Lily, who was tugging at her coat. Grandma, Maya doesn't have a place to sleep, Lily stage whispered. Can she come home with us? Please, I'll clean my room. Lily, Eleanor gently scolded, but there was a softness in her voice. She turned back to Maya. You've been kind to my granddaughter. The least I can do is offer you a hot meal before you go to the shelter. I couldn't impose, Maya started, but her stomach chose that moment to growl loudly. That settles it, Eleanor said firmly. We're just 2 blocks away and I'm making chicken soup. It's nothing fancy, but it's warm. Maya hesitated. She'd learned the hard way not to trust easy kindness. It usually came with strings attached. But something about Eleanor's straightforward manner and Lily's hopeful face made her want to believe this offer was genuine. Okay, Maya finally agreed. Thank you. As they walked toward Eleanor's apartment, Lily slipped her small hand into Maya's, looking up with a smile that showed a missing front tooth. I knew you'd come home with us. Just for dinner, Maya reminded her gently. That's how it starts, Lily replied with the confidence of someone much older than 7. First dinner, then breakfast. Maya couldn't help but laugh, feeling something warm unfurl in her chest despite the cold rain. She didn't want to admit it, but those simple words the little girl had spoken at the bus stop kept echoing in her mind. You need a home, and I need a mommy. As they approached a modest apartment building, Maya reminded herself not to get attached. This was just one meal, one brief respite from the streets. By tomorrow, she'd be back to facing her problems alone. She'd learned long ago that hoping for more only led to disappointment. But as Lily tugged her through the doorway, chattering excitedly about showing Maya her stuffed animals and books, Maya found herself wondering if sometimes, just sometimes, unexpected kindness might lead somewhere after all. The small apartment felt warm and lived in, with mismatched furniture that somehow worked together and family photos covering one wall. Maya sat at the kitchen table, hands wrapped around a mug of hot tea while Eleanor stirred a pot of chicken soup on the stove. The rich aroma filled the small space, making Maya's stomach growl again. Sorry about the mess, Eleanor said, gesturing to the pile of mail on the counter and a basket of unfolded laundry in the corner. Working full-time and raising a 7-year-old doesn't leave much time for housekeeping. It's nice, Maya said honestly. It feels like a real home. Eleanor gave her a curious look. Where are you from originally, Maya? Maya stared into her tea. All over, really. Foster care until I aged out at 18. Then wherever I could find work. Eleanor nodded without pressing further. Well, dinner's almost ready. Lily, come set the table, please. Lily came bounding into the kitchen, having changed out of her raincoat into a purple t-shirt with a unicorn on it. She carefully placed 3 mismatched plates on the table, her tongue poking out in concentration. Maya, can you sit next to me? Lily asked, pointing to a chair. Sure, Maya said with a small smile. As they ate the soup with thick slices of bread, Maya found herself relaxing for the first time in days. The warmth, the food, and the easy conversation made her almost forget her situation. So what kind of work do you do? Eleanor asked, passing Maya another slice of bread. I was waitressing at the Blue Plate Diner until it closed last month, Maya explained. I've been looking for something else, but... She trailed off, embarrassed. It's tough out there, Eleanor agreed. I work at the hospital as a receptionist. Not glamorous, but it pays most of the bills. Grandma works a lot, Lily chimed in. Mrs. Patel from next door watches me after school, but she's really old and always falls asleep. It's boring, Eleanor sighed. Our childcare situation isn't ideal, but it's what we can afford right now. After dinner, while Eleanor washed the dishes, Lily insisted on showing Maya her room. It was small but cheerful, with drawings taped to the walls and a bookshelf overflowing with children's books. I did this one yesterday, Lily said proudly, holding up a crayon drawing of what looked like 3 people holding hands. That's really good, Maya said, looking closer. Who are they? That's me and Grandma, Lily pointed, then hesitated before adding. And that was going to be my mom, but I don't remember what she looked like anymore. Grandma says she had hair like mine. Maya felt her heart twist. I bet she was beautiful just like you. Lily beamed, then reached under her bed and pulled out a sketch pad. Do you like to draw? I have lots of colors. I do, actually, Maya admitted, thinking of the sketchbook in her backpack, one of the few possessions she couldn't bear to part with. For the next hour, They sat on Lily's rug, drawing together. Maya showed Lily how to draw faces with the right proportions, and Lily laughed in delight when Maya sketched a quick cartoon of her with exaggerated curly hair. Eleanor appeared in the doorway, looking tired but smiling. "It's bedtime, Lily, but we're drawing," Lily protested. "And Maya needs to rest too," Eleanor said firmly. "Say goodnight." Lily reluctantly put down her crayons but brightened when Maya promised to finish their drawings another time. After Lily changed into pajamas and brushed her teeth, she surprised Maya with a quick hug around the waist. "Good night, Maya," she said, then whispered, "Don't leave, okay?" Before Maya could respond, Eleanor was ushering her daughter into bed. Maya stepped into the hallway, suddenly uncomfortable with the domesticity of the scene. This wasn't her family, wasn't her life. By tomorrow she'd be gone, and Lily would forget about her. When Eleanor emerged from Lily's room, she found Maya by the front door, backpack in hand. "Thank you for dinner," Maya said quietly. "I should get going if I want to make it to the shelter before they close the doors." Eleanor glanced at the window where rain was still pouring down, now accompanied by flashes of lightning. "In this storm? The shelter's at least 20 blocks away." Maya shrugged. "I've walked farther." Eleanor seemed to be having an internal debate. Finally, she sighed. "Look, our couch isn't much, but it's dry and safer than walking across town in a thunderstorm. You can stay tonight if you want." Maya hesitated. "I don't want charity." "It's not charity," Eleanor said firmly. "Actually, I have a proposition for you. I've been trying to find affordable after-school care for Lily. Mrs. Patel is sweet, but not really up to chasing after a 7-year-old. I noticed how good you are with Lily, and she obviously likes you. Are you offering me a job?" Maya asked, surprised. "Room and board in exchange for watching Lily after school and helping around the house," Eleanor clarified. "Just until you get back on your feet. I work until 6 most days, and the summer break is coming up. I'm desperate for childcare that won't cost my entire paycheck." Maya set her backpack down slowly. "You barely know me." "I'm a pretty good judge of character," Eleanor said. "And frankly, we both need help. Think of it as a mutually beneficial arrangement, not charity." The practical side of Maya knew this was too good to be true. The suspicious side wondered what the catch was. But the part of her that had been alone for so long, the part that had felt a strange connection with the little girl who spoke so directly at the bus stop, wanted to say yes. "Just for a little while," Maya finally agreed. "Until I find another job." Eleanor's shoulders relaxed. "Good, I'll get you some blankets for the couch." Later, lying under borrowed blankets on the lumpy couch, Maya stared at the ceiling, listening to the rain outside. What had she gotten herself into? She didn't know anything about taking care of kids, and getting attached would only lead to heartbreak when it was time to move on. Yet somehow she'd agreed to stay, all because a little girl at a bus stop had looked at her with wise eyes and said exactly what Maya had been afraid to admit to herself. She needed a home. The next morning, Maya woke to the smell of coffee and the sound of Lily's excited chatter in the kitchen. For a moment she was disoriented, the unfamiliar ceiling above her. "Maya, you're still here!" Lily exclaimed, running into the living room in her school uniform, her curly hair only half brushed. "I told you I would be," Maya said, sitting up and running a hand through her tangled hair. "Grandma says you're going to watch me after school now," Lily said, bouncing on her toes. "We can draw every day." Eleanor appeared behind her granddaughter, holding out a mug of coffee. "Sorry if she woke you. Someone's a little excited this morning." Maya accepted the coffee gratefully. "It's okay. I should get up anyway." "I have to leave for work in 20 minutes, Eleanor explained. "Lily's school is 3 blocks east and she gets out at 3:15. I wrote down all the information you'll need on the kitchen counter. Emergency numbers, her teacher's contact, allergies, she doesn't have any, but just in case." Maya felt a wave of panic. This was happening too fast. Yesterday she'd been homeless, and today she was responsible for someone's grandchild? Eleanor must have read the worry on her face. "You'll be fine," she said gently. "Lily's an easy kid most of the time, and I'm just a phone call away." As Eleanor and Lily prepared to leave, Maya stood awkwardly in the living room, still clutching her coffee mug like a lifeline. "We'll be back around 4, Lily said, giving Maya another quick hug before grabbing her backpack. At the door, Eleanor paused. "Thank you for this, Maya. I know it's not ideal for either of us, but sometimes the help we need comes from unexpected places." After they left, Maya sat in the quiet apartment, feeling like an intruder in someone else's life. Part of her wanted to grab her backpack and leave before she could disappoint these people who had inexplicably trusted her. Instead, she washed her mug, folded the blankets, and opened her sketchbook. She had a few hours before she needed to pick up Lily, and drawing always helped her think. As her pencil moved across the paper, she found herself sketching the little girl's face, the serious eyes that had looked at her at the bus stop and somehow seen exactly what she needed. "You need a home, and I need a mommy," Lily had said, with the simple clarity that only children possess. Maya wasn't anyone's mother, and she didn't know if she could ever be. But for now, she had a roof over her head, a temporary purpose, and maybe, just maybe, a chance to belong somewhere, even if just for a little while. 3 weeks passed, and Maya found herself settling into a routine she'd never expected. Each morning, she would wake up on the couch, which she had to admit was getting less comfortable as days went by, and have coffee ready when Eleanor and Lily emerged from their bedrooms. After they left, she would tidy the apartment, then use Eleanor's ancient laptop to search for jobs until it was time to meet Lily at school. Today was a Friday, and the schoolyard buzzed with children eager for the weekend. Maya stood at the fence scanning the crowd for Lily's familiar curly hair. When she spotted her, Lily was walking with a tall woman in professional clothes, her teacher, Maya guessed. "You must be Maya," the teacher said with a smile when they reached the gate. "I'm Ms. Chen, Lily's teacher. She's been talking about you nonstop." Maya felt oddly nervous. "Nice to meet you. I hope she's been good in class." "Actually, that's why I wanted to chat with you," Ms. Chen said. "Lily's shown remarkable improvement these past few weeks. Her homework is coming in completed, and she's participating more in class discussions. Whatever you're doing, it's working." Maya glanced down at Lily, who beamed up at her proudly. "I've just been helping with her homework." "Well, keep it up," Ms. Chen said. "It's making a difference." As they walked home, Lily skipped beside Maya, occasionally jumping to avoid cracks in the sidewalk. "Ms. Chen likes you," she observed. "She doesn't talk to Mrs. Patel like that." "That's because you weren't doing your homework for Mrs. Patel," Maya replied, adjusting Lily's backpack on her shoulder. "She always fell asleep," Lily said with a shrug, "and she never wanted to hear about my day." She looked up at Maya. "You always want to hear about my day." The simple observation made Maya's chest feel warm. "That's because your days are interesting. What did you learn today?" Lily launched into a detailed explanation of their science lesson about caterpillars, complete with dramatic hand gestures. Maya listened, asking questions at the right moments, realizing how much she genuinely enjoyed these after-school walks. Back at the apartment, they fell into their usual routine. Maya made a snack while Lily changed out of her school clothes. Then they sat at the kitchen table for homework. Today was math, which Lily complained about until Maya turned it into a game involving cookies they'd baked the day before. "If you have 12 cookies, and you give 1/4 of them away, how many do you have left?" Maya asked, pushing the plate toward Lily. Lily counted out the cookies, separating them into groups. 3 in each fourth, so 9 cookies left. "Perfect. And as a reward, you get to eat 1 cookie." "Just 1?" Lily groaned dramatically, but she was smiling. By the time Eleanor came home from work, dinner was ready. A simple pasta dish Maya had learned to make during a brief stint as a kitchen assistant years ago. The table was set and Lily's homework was complete. "Something smells amazing," Eleanor said, setting down her purse and kicking off her shoes with a sigh of relief. "Thank you for cooking. I was dreading having to make dinner after the day I've had." "Rough day?" Maya asked, serving the pasta. Eleanor nodded, lowering her voice so Lily, who was washing her hands in the bathroom, couldn't hear. "Budget cuts at the hospital. They're talking about reducing hours for administrative staff." Maya frowned. "Will that affect your position?" "Possibly," Eleanor admitted, sinking into a chair. "I'm trying not to worry about it yet, but we'll figure something out," Maya said automatically, then paused, surprised at herself. When had she started thinking of their problems as we instead of you? Dinner was lively, despite Eleanor's worries, with Lily dominating the conversation with tales from school. After the dishes were done, Eleanor pulled a large envelope from her work bag. "Maya, I picked up information about the community college summer courses. I know you mentioned wanting to maybe take some art classes." Maya accepted the envelope with surprise. "You remember that?" Of course, Eleanor said. You have real talent. I've seen your sketches. Later, after Lily had gone to bed, Maya sat on the couch looking through the course catalog. There was an introduction to graphic design that caught her eye. With her drawings, she'd always been able to lose herself, to create worlds where things made sense. The idea of turning that skill into a career path had never seemed possible before. She was still looking at the catalog when Eleanor came out of Lily's room and sat beside her on the couch. She's finally asleep, Eleanor said. She wanted 3 bedtime stories tonight, Maya smiled. She's trying to delay bedtime. She does that when she's excited about something. Eleanor gave her a curious look. You've really gotten to know her, haven't you? Maya nodded, feeling suddenly self-conscious. Kids aren't that complicated. Not like adults anyway. I wanted to talk to you about something, Eleanor said, her tone turning serious. This arrangement was supposed to be temporary, but it's been almost a month now, and having you here has been… She searched for the right word. Wonderful, actually. For both of us, Maya didn't know what to say. The truth was, being here had been wonderful for her too. But she'd been waiting for the other shoe to drop, for Eleanor to tell her it was time to move on. The thing is, Eleanor continued, that couch is terrible for sleeping and you deserve better. She took a deep breath. We have that small storage room off the hallway. It's not much, but if we cleared it out, we could fit a bed in there. A real bed. For you, Maya stared at her. You're asking me to stay?
Permanently?
Eleanor nodded. Lily adores you. You've been wonderful with her. More patient than I can be some days. And frankly, it's been nice having another adult around. She hesitated, but only if you want to. I understand if you have other plans. Maya thought about the life she'd had before, the constant moving, the loneliness, the feeling that she never quite belonged anywhere. Then she thought about these past weeks, helping Lily with homework, cooking dinner with Eleanor, feeling for the first time like she was part of something. I'd like to stay, she said quietly. If you're sure. I'm sure, Eleanor said firmly. Besides, we can start converting that room tomorrow. Lily will be thrilled to help. That night, lying on the couch for what would be one of the last times, Maya felt a strange mix of emotions. Fear, what if this didn't work out? Excitement, a room of her own, a chance to build something stable. And underneath it all, a cautious hope that perhaps this unexpected arrangement might be the beginning of something lasting. The next morning was Saturday, and Maya woke to the sound of Lily's excited voice and the smell of pancakes. She found Eleanor and Lily in the kitchen already dressed, a stack of pancakes on the table. We're going to make your room today, Lily announced, bouncing in her seat. Grandma says I can help paint. Eleanor smiled apologetically. I hope you don't mind, but I told her about the room. She's been up since 6 planning what color your walls should be. Pink, Lily declared. Maya laughed. Maybe something a little less bright? How about blue? Light blue, Lily negotiated. Like the sky. After breakfast, they began the process of clearing out the storage room. It was dusty work, sorting through boxes of old clothes, holiday decorations, and mementos of Eleanor's late daughter, Lily's mother. Maya noticed how Eleanor paused over certain items, her eyes distant with memories. She would have liked you, Eleanor said softly, holding a photograph of a young woman with Lily's same curly hair and bright smile. Jenny was a good judge of character like her daughter. By lunchtime, they had cleared enough space to see the potential of the small room. It was barely big enough for a twin bed and a small dresser. But to Maya, who had never had a room to call her own, it looked perfect. They spent the afternoon at a thrift store, where Eleanor insisted on buying Maya a simple bed frame and a dresser that needed a fresh coat of paint. Lily found a lamp with stars cut into the shade that cast patterns on the wall when lit. For when you're scared, she explained seriously. Maya knelt down to Lily's level. Why would I be scared? Sometimes I get scared at night, Lily admitted. But now you'll be across the hall instead of in the living room, so if I get scared, I can come find you easier. The simple trust in Lily's eyes made Maya's throat tight. That's right. I'll be right across the hall. Over the next week, the room slowly transformed. They painted the walls a soft blue as negotiated. Eleanor found curtains that matched at a garage sale. Maya hung her few sketches on the wall, including the one of Lily that she'd drawn that first night at the bus stop. The night the room was finally ready, Maya stood in the doorway looking at the space that was now hers. The bed was made with sheets Eleanor had insisted on buying new. The dresser, freshly painted white, held the few clothes Maya owned plus some that Eleanor had given her from her own closet. Lily's star lamp sat on a small nightstand. Do you like it? Lily asked, hovering anxiously at Maya's side. Maya looked down at the little girl who had changed her life with 9 simple words at a bus stop on a rainy day. I love it, she said, her voice thick with emotion. It's perfect. That night, lying in a real bed for the first time in months, Maya stared at the star patterns dancing on her ceiling. Outside her door, she could hear the quiet sounds of the apartment, Eleanor washing dishes, Lily humming as she got ready for bed. The sounds of home. She thought about the community college courses she'd signed up for starting next month, about the part-time job at the local coffee shop she'd interviewed for yesterday, about the future that suddenly seemed possible. You need a home and I need a mommy, Lily had said that day at the bus stop with the innocent wisdom of a child. Maya wasn't a mother, might never be, but she had found a home. And perhaps in finding that home, she was beginning to find herself too. Summer turned to fall, and with it came changes that Maya couldn't have imagined 6 months ago. Her graphic design classes at the community college were challenging but exciting, opening doors to a world where her artistic talents might actually lead to a career. The coffee shop job was just enough to cover her small contribution to household expenses and her art supplies. And most surprising of all, the tiny blue room across from Lily's had truly become hers. A safe harbor she returned to each night with a sense of belonging she'd never known before. On a crisp October morning, Maya sat at the kitchen table with her sketchbook, working on a project for class while Lily ate breakfast before school. Eleanor had already left for an early shift at the hospital, leaving Maya in charge of the morning routine. You're drawing again, Lily observed, milk dripping from her spoon as she peered at Maya's work. At 8 years old now, her birthday had been last month, celebrated with homemade cake and a small party that had made her glow with happiness. Lily was becoming more observant, more aware of the adults around her. It's for my design class, Maya explained, tilting the sketchbook so Lily could see better. We're creating logos for made-up companies. Lily nodded seriously. It's good. You're the best drawer I know. Maya smiled at the compliment. Thanks, kiddo. Now finish your cereal or we'll be late. The walk to school was pleasant, leaves crunching underfoot as Lily chatted about her upcoming science project. Maya listened with the same attention she always gave Lily's stories, asking questions and offering suggestions. At the school gate, Lily gave her the usual quick hug before running to join her friends. See you at 3, Maya called after her. Instead of heading straight home, Maya detoured to the coffee shop for her afternoon shift. The manager, a kind woman named Priya, had been flexible with her hours, allowing Maya to work while Lily was in school. Good morning, college girl, Priya greeted her with a smile. Ready for the lunch rush? The shift passed quickly, the familiar rhythm of taking orders and making drinks now second nature. During a quiet moment, Maya checked her phone and saw a text from Eleanor. Feeling terrible. Came home early from work. Can you pick up cold medicine after your shift? Thanks, Maya frowned at the message. Eleanor rarely missed work, and she'd seemed fine that morning, if a little tired. As soon as her shift ended, she hurried to the pharmacy and then home, worry gnawing at her. She found Eleanor on the couch, wrapped in blankets despite the apartment's warmth. Her face was flushed, her breathing labored. Eleanor, Maya set down the pharmacy bag and rushed to her side. You look awful. Thanks. Eleanor attempted a smile that turned into a cough. Just a bad cold. I'll be fine by tomorrow. Maya pressed a hand to Eleanor's forehead. You're burning up. This isn't just a cold. She helped Eleanor take some medicine and made her tea, concern growing as she noticed how weak the older woman seemed. By the time Maya had to leave to pick up Lily, Eleanor's condition had worsened. Her breathing was more labored and she seemed confused about the time. I think I should take you to the doctor, Maya said, reaching for her phone. No, Eleanor protested. Too expensive. Insurance deductible. Just need rest. Maya bit her lip, torn between respecting Eleanor's wishes and her growing certainty that this was serious. Let me at least call the nurse line. And I'm going to ask Mrs. Patel to watch Lily when I bring her home. The nurse who answered the medical helpline listened to Maya's description of Eleanor's symptoms and didn't hesitate. She needs to go to the ER now. Those symptoms could indicate pneumonia, which can be very dangerous. Fear clutched at Maya's heart as she hung up. She'd never been responsible in a medical emergency before, But Eleanor needed her, and so did Lily. Taking a deep breath, she called Mrs. Patel, who agreed to meet Lily at school and bring her home. "Tell Lily I'll be back as soon as I can, and that Grandma just needs to see a doctor," Maya instructed the elderly neighbor. Then she called a rideshare to take her and Eleanor to the hospital, since neither of them owned a car. Getting Eleanor down to the car was a struggle. She was weak and kept insisting she just needed to sleep, but Maya was firm. By the time they reached the emergency room, Eleanor could barely walk, leaning heavily on Maya as they entered the crowded waiting area. The triage nurse took one look at Eleanor and immediately called for assistance. Within minutes, Eleanor was being wheeled into the treatment area, leaving Maya standing alone, clutching Eleanor's purse and insurance card. "Are you family?" a nurse asked Maya as she hovered anxiously near the entrance to the treatment area. Maya hesitated. What was she? Not family, not legally. Just a homeless girl they'd taken in out of kindness. "I live with her. I take care of her granddaughter." The nurse nodded. "Fill out these forms as best you can. The doctor will talk to you when they know more." Hours passed in the uncomfortable waiting room chair. Maya filled out the forms with what information she knew, called Mrs. Patel to check on Lily, and tried not to imagine the worst. Finally, a tired-looking doctor emerged. "Eleanor Henderson's family?" Maya stood up. "I'm with Eleanor." The doctor studied her for a moment, then nodded. "Ms. Henderson has severe pneumonia. Her oxygen levels were dangerously low when she came in. We've started her on IV antibiotics and oxygen therapy, but she's very ill. We're admitting her to the hospital. Is she going to be okay?" Maya asked, her voice small. "She's stable for now, but she's going to need time to recover. Days, possibly a week or more in the hospital. Does she have family who can help with her care after discharge? And you mentioned a granddaughter?" The implications hit Maya suddenly. Eleanor would be hospitalized for days. Lily would need care. The household would need managing. And Maya, who had always been on the periphery of other people's lives, never the center, would have to step up. "Her granddaughter is 8. I've been living with them, helping with child care. I can take care of her while Eleanor is here." The doctor looked relieved. "Good, that's good. We'll need contact information, and there will be some paperwork regarding temporary guardianship if you're going to be responsible for the child." Maya's heart raced. Temporary guardianship. The word sounded so official, so weighty. "Can I see Eleanor now?" Eleanor was asleep when Maya entered the hospital room, an oxygen mask covering her face, monitors beeping steadily beside her. She looked small in the hospital bed, vulnerable in a way Maya had never seen her. Maya sat beside her, gently taking her hand. "I'll take care of everything," she whispered. "I promise. You just focus on getting better." As if hearing her, Eleanor's eyes fluttered open. She tried to speak, but the mask muffled her words. She lifted a weak hand to pull it aside. "Lily," she managed, her voice raspy. "She's with Mrs. Patel. She's safe. I'll take care of her, I promise." Eleanor's eyes filled with tears. "You're a blessing," she whispered. "Knew it." That first day, Maya squeezed her hand, fighting back her own tears. "Rest now. I'll be back tomorrow." Leaving the hospital, Maya felt the weight of responsibility settle on her shoulders. She had to tell Lily about her grandmother, had to manage the household, had to be the adult now. The irony wasn't lost on her. 6 months ago, she'd been homeless, directionless. Now people were depending on her. When she arrived home, she found Lily in her pajamas, sitting anxiously with Mrs. Patel. The moment she saw Maya, Lily ran to her. "Where's Grandma?" "Mrs. Patel wouldn't tell me anything." Maya knelt down to Lily's level, taking her small hands. "Grandma is sick, sweetie. She has something called pneumonia, which is like a very bad cold that got into her lungs. The doctors are taking good care of her at the hospital, but she needs to stay there for a few days." Lily's eyes widened with fear. "Is she going to die? Like my mom?" The question pierced Maya's heart. "No, honey. She's getting medicine to help her get better, but she needs to stay at the hospital for a while so the doctors can help her." "Can I see her?" "Tomorrow after school. She needs rest tonight." After thanking Mrs. Patel and sending her home, Maya made a simple dinner for Lily, who was unusually quiet. When bedtime came, Lily asked Maya to stay with her until she fell asleep. "I'm scared," Lily admitted in the darkness of her room. "I know," Maya said softly, stroking her curly hair. "It's okay to be scared. But I'm right here and I'm not going anywhere. Promise?" "I promise." After Lily fell asleep, Maya sat at the kitchen table making lists. Things to take to Eleanor at the hospital. Bills that would need to be paid. Lily's schedule for the week. Her own classes and work shifts that would need to be adjusted. As she worked, a knock at the door startled her. Opening it, she found a woman in a neat suit holding a folder. Maya Rodriguez? I'm Beth Wilson from Child Protective Services. May I come in? Maya's heart sank as she stepped aside to let the woman enter. She should have expected this. Of course, the hospital would contact social services about a child with her primary guardian hospitalized. Lily is asleep, Maya said quietly, gesturing toward the bedrooms. That's fine. I'm here to discuss the temporary guardianship situation. Beth opened her folder. I understand you've been living here and helping care for Lily? Yes, for about 6 months now. And before that? Maya took a deep breath. I was homeless. Eleanor took me in, gave me a place to stay in exchange for helping with Lily after school. Beth's expression remained neutral as she made notes. Do you have any history with childcare? Any formal training? No, but I've been Lily's primary caretaker when Eleanor is working. I take her to school, help with homework, make meals. And you have no legal relationship to the family? No. Beth looked up from her notes. Ms. Rodriguez, I want to be clear about something. The hospital has informed us that Eleanor Henderson will likely be hospitalized for at least a week, possibly longer. In situations like this, we typically place children with family members or in temporary foster care. Maya felt panic rising. Lily needs stability right now. Moving her would only traumatize her more. She knows me, trusts me. I understand, but there are procedures. Please, Maya interrupted, her voice cracking. Just talk to Eleanor. She would want Lily to stay with me. This is Lily's home. Beth studied her for a long moment. I'll need to conduct a home assessment and interview Lily tomorrow, and we'll need to speak with Ms. Henderson to confirm her wishes. For tonight, Lily can remain here, but I'll be back in the morning. After Beth left, Maya sat alone in the quiet apartment, the fear she'd been holding at bay finally overwhelming her. What if they took Lily away? What would happen to Eleanor if she lost both Maya and Lily while she was fighting to recover? And what would happen to Maya herself, who had finally found a place where she belonged? Standing in the hallway between the 2 bedrooms, Eleanor's empty one and Lily's where the little girl slept peacefully, unaware of the threat to their makeshift family, Maya remembered Lily's words from that first day at the bus stop. You need a home. And I need a mommy. Maya had found a home. And now, whether she was ready or not, she was being called to be something more than just a housemaid or babysitter. In the face of this crisis, she would have to fight for this family they had created together. A family none of them had expected, but all of them now needed. Maya barely slept that night, her mind racing with worst-case scenarios. Every few hours, she checked on Lily, watching the gentle rise and fall of her chest, the way her small hands clutched her favorite stuffed rabbit. By morning, Maya's fear had hardened into determination. She would not let this family be torn apart, not after they had saved her, not after she had finally found where she belonged. Lily was confused and cranky at breakfast, picking at her cereal with unusual quietness. When can we see Grandma? She asked for the 3rd time, pushing her bowl away. After school, Maya promised, gently pushing the bowl back. But you need to eat. Grandma would want you to keep up your strength. At the mention of her grandmother, Lily's eyes filled with tears. What if she's not okay? Maya knelt beside Lily's chair, looking directly into her eyes. Your grandma is very strong, just like you. The doctors are giving her medicine to help her get better. But right now, the best thing we can do is take care of each other and be brave. Can you do that? Lily nodded solemnly and picked up her spoon, taking a small bite of cereal. I can be brave. I know you can, Maya said, squeezing her shoulder. Now finish up. We need to leave soon, and a lady named Ms. Wilson is going to come talk to you after school today. Why? Maya chose her words carefully. Because when a child's guardian gets sick, people want to make sure the child is being well taken care of. She just needs to see that you're okay with me while Grandma is getting better. But I want to stay with you, Lily said, her voice rising in alarm. I don't want to go somewhere else. And I want you to stay with me too, Maya assured her. That's why it's important that we show Ms. Wilson that we're doing fine together. After dropping Lily at school, Maya rushed back to the apartment to clean. She washed the breakfast dishes, made the beds, and tidied up Lily's scattered toys. Then she called the coffee shop to explain the situation. Priya was understanding, offering to adjust Maya's schedule for the next week. Family comes first, she said, and the simple acknowledgement that yes, this was Maya's family now brought tears to Maya's eyes. Next, she called her professors to explain her absence from classes. Most were sympathetic, granting extensions on her upcoming projects. By the time she'd finished these calls, it was time to visit Eleanor at the hospital before picking up Lily. Eleanor looked marginally better than the previous night, though still weak and pale against the hospital sheets. The oxygen mask had been replaced with a nasal cannula, allowing her to speak more easily. "How's Lily?" were her first words when Maya entered. "She's okay. Worried about you, but okay." Maya sat beside the bed, taking Eleanor's hand. "How are you feeling?" "Like I've been hit by a truck," Eleanor admitted with a weak smile. "The doctors say I'll need to be here at least another week." "The infection is pretty severe," Maya nodded. "I've got everything under control at home. But there's something you should know." She explained about the visit from Child Protective Services, watching Eleanor's face grow concerned. "They can't take her," Eleanor said, trying to sit up and triggering a coughing fit. When she caught her breath, she continued, "You're the only one who can take care of her right now. My sister lives in Florida, and she's not well herself. There's no one else. The social worker is coming today to interview Lily and inspect the apartment. What can I do to convince her?" Eleanor squeezed Maya's hand. "In the drawer of my bedside table, there's a folder with important documents. There should be a form I had drawn up a few months ago, temporary guardianship paperwork. I never filed it, but I had it prepared, just in case." Maya stared at Eleanor in surprise. "You did that for me?" Eleanor nodded. "After you moved into your room, I realized how much you'd become part of our family. I wanted to be prepared to make sure Lily would be taken care of if something happened to me." She coughed again, wincing at the pain. "I didn't expect to need it so soon." Maya felt a lump in her throat. "I'll find it. And Eleanor, thank you for trusting me with this. You're the daughter I never expected to have," Eleanor said softly. "Now go take care of our girl." Back at the apartment, Maya found the folder exactly where Eleanor had said. Inside was the guardianship form, already filled out with Maya's information, just needing signatures and filing with the court. There was also a handwritten letter from Eleanor, expressing her wishes for Maya to care for Lily if she became unable to do so. Maya was still holding the papers when a knock came at the door. Beth Wilson stood there, her expression professional but not unkind. "Ms. Rodriguez, I'm here for the home assessment. I'll need to see Lily's living conditions and speak with her alone." Maya nodded, stepping back to let her in. "Of course. I need to pick her up from school in about 20 minutes. You're welcome to come with me or wait here." "I'll come along," Beth decided. "I'd like to observe your interaction with Lily in different settings." The walk to school was tense, with Beth asking questions about Maya's background, her relationship with Lily, and her plans for the future. Maya answered honestly, explaining how she'd met Eleanor and Lily, how they'd built trust over time, and her commitment to her education. "I want to build a stable career," Maya explained, "not just for myself anymore, but for them too. They're my family now." At the school, Lily spotted Maya and ran toward her, then slowed when she saw the stranger beside her. Maya knelt down and gave Lily a reassuring hug. "Lily, this is Ms. Wilson, the lady I told you about this morning. She's going to talk with us for a little while." Lily regarded Beth with solemn eyes. "Are you going to take me away from Maya?" Beth looked startled by the direct question. "I'm here to make sure you're safe and being taken care of properly while your grandmother is in the hospital." "I'm safe with Maya," Lily said firmly, taking Maya's hand. "She makes me eat vegetables and do my homework and brush my teeth for 2 whole minutes. And she checks for monsters under my bed. And she knows how to make Grandma's chicken soup when I'm sad." Maya felt her heart swell at Lily's passionate defense. Beth's expression softened slightly as they walked back to the apartment together. Once there, Beth asked to speak with Lily alone in her bedroom while Maya waited anxiously in the kitchen, the guardianship papers spread before her. After what felt like hours but was probably only 20 minutes, Beth emerged, followed by Lily. "Can I go see Grandma now?" Lily asked, looking at Maya. "Soon, sweetie. Why don't you get changed out of your school clothes first?" Maya suggested, and Lily nodded, disappearing back into her room. Beth sat across from Maya at the kitchen table. "Lily clearly has a strong attachment to you. And I to her, Maya said simply. She told me about how you came to live here, about meeting at a bus stop in the rain. Beth's expression was unreadable. It's an unusual situation. Life creates unusual families sometimes, Maya replied, sliding the guardianship paperwork across the table. Eleanor prepared these months ago. She wants me to care for Lily. Beth examined the papers carefully. These aren't filed or notarized yet. No, but they show Eleanor's intentions. I can get them properly filed. Please, Ms. Wilson. Separating Lily from her home right now while her grandmother is fighting to recover would only traumatize her further. Beth was quiet for a long moment. There would need to be regular check-ins. And these papers would need to be properly filed with the court. Temporary guardianship only until Ms. Henderson recovers. Maya felt hope flicker. Of course, whatever is necessary. I'll need to speak with Ms. Henderson directly to confirm her wishes. We can go to the hospital right now. Lily wants to see her anyway. The hospital visit was difficult but crucial. Eleanor, despite her weakness, was clear and firm about her wishes for Maya to care for Lily. Beth took notes and asked questions, and by the time they left, she seemed satisfied. I'll recommend temporary guardianship be granted, she told Maya outside Eleanor's room while Lily was saying goodbye to her grandmother. The paperwork will need to be filed tomorrow. I'll help expedite the process. Thank you, Maya whispered, relief washing over her. The following days settled into a new routine. Maya balanced her classes, reduced work hours, and caring for Lily with daily hospital visits. Friends from her design class offered help with grocery shopping and rides to the hospital. Priya from the coffee shop sent meals. Lily's teacher provided extra support at school. Maya was exhausted but determined, drawing strength from Lily's resilience and Eleanor's gradual improvement. Each day brought small victories, Lily adjusting to their temporary new normal. Eleanor's oxygen levels improving, Maya managing to keep up with at least some of her coursework. A week turned into 2, but finally the day came when the doctor said Eleanor could come home. She would need continued rest and care, but she was well enough to leave the hospital. Maya and Lily prepared the apartment, making Eleanor's bed with fresh sheets and decorating the living room with welcome home signs Lily had crafted. When they brought Eleanor home, she was still weak, needing Maya's support to walk from the car to the apartment, but her eyes brightened at the sight of the decorated living room and Lily's excited face. My girls, she said, tears in her eyes as she settled onto the couch. My beautiful family. That evening, after Lily had gone to bed and Eleanor was resting in her room, Maya sat at the kitchen table with a cup of tea, reflecting on the journey that had brought her here. From homeless and alone at a bus stop, to temporary guardian and essential support for this small family. The guardianship papers, now properly filed and approved by the court, sat on the table before her. A soft noise made her look up. Eleanor stood in the doorway wrapped in her robe. You should be resting, Maya said, standing quickly to help her to a chair. I've rested enough, Eleanor replied, though she accepted Maya's assistance. I wanted to thank you for everything you did while I was sick, for fighting to keep our family together. Maya shook her head. You don't need to thank me. You and Lily gave me a home when I had nothing. You made me part of your family. I just did what family does. Eleanor smiled, reaching across the table to take Maya's hand. Do you remember what Lily said to you that day at the bus stop? Maya nodded, the words etched permanently in her heart. You need a home and I need a mommy. She was right, wasn't she? About both of you needing each other. Eleanor's eyes were gentle. I've been thinking while lying in that hospital bed. About the future. About making our arrangement more permanent. Maya's breath caught. What do you mean? The temporary guardianship expires in a few weeks, but there are other options. More permanent ones. Eleanor squeezed Maya's hand. You've become a daughter to me, Maya, and you've been more of a mother to Lily these past 2 weeks than I could have hoped for. If you want, we could talk about making that official. Tears filled Maya's eyes as the meaning of Eleanor's words sank in. You mean adoption? But I'm only 24. I don't know if I'm ready to be someone's mom. You already are, Eleanor said simply. In all the ways that matter. The paperwork would just make official what we already know to be true. Maya thought about the frightened, homeless young woman she'd been that rainy day at the bus stop. How far she had come, how much she had grown, how deeply she loved the little girl sleeping down the hall and the woman sitting across from her now. "I'd like that," she whispered. "I'd like that very much." Eleanor smiled, her eyes shining with tears and hope. "Then it's settled. We'll make it official. Our family." Later that night, Maya stood in the doorway of Lily's room, watching the little girl sleep peacefully. The star lamp cast gentle patterns on the ceiling, the same stars that now illuminated Maya's own room across the hall. She thought about the long journey ahead, completing her education, building her career, learning to be the best mother she could be for Lily, and the best daughter for Eleanor. It wouldn't be easy. Life rarely was. But for the first time, Maya faced the future not with fear or uncertainty, but with hope and the knowledge that she wasn't alone. She had found her home, her purpose, her family, and it had all begun with 9 simple words spoken by a wise little girl at a bus stop in the rain. "You need a home, and I need a mommy."